If I told you that the price of MONAD is going to go to $5,
What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis?
I'm going to reinvest my money into the community.
Oh, that's a very nice gesture. What were you
Yep, you heard me right. The price will eventually go to $5. MONAD being priced at $5 is 184x. Now imagine if you put $1,000 and you make 184x, how much money will that be? One of the reasons why I really believe a 200x when it comes to MONAD is absolutely feasible is because I've been doing a lot of research, especially when it comes to similar blockchain projects such as Solana that faced a similar trajectory. Moreover, if you look at the problems that the MONAD ecosystem and MONAD blockchain is trying to solve, it is absolutely feasible. If you do not mind, let's head over to the numbers, the statistics, and the data. As you can see, right, if you go to the calculator, you divide $5 by the current price, which is around $0.027, that will approximately give you 184x. And if you take a look at the fully diluted valuation market cap, which is around 2.7, with a market cap of around 297, it is absolutely doable. Now let me show you something interesting. So I was looking at the history and the performance of Solana. I went back to the web archive and I was able to punch in some numbers. So basically, if you take a look at the price of Solana on the 6th of November, I hope you guys can see this date right over here. The price of Solana was $1.86. The market cap was around 85 million US dollars with a circulating supply of roughly a tenth of the total. So remember, Solana has got a total supply of around 588, plus it has got an infinite supply, just like Ethereum, coded into the project. However, the total supply and the circulating supply at this particular moment were so very different. This really has got a very direct correlation with what is happening with MONAD. So take a look at the circulating supply. It's roughly, a tenth of the total and the maximum supply. MONAD even has got a better probability because they don't really have like an infinite supply in comparison to Solana and Ethereum. So if the price of Solana was able to do what it did, if we take a look at the Solana growth trajectory, it ended up harnessing the power of what the blockchain and crypto space became, because a lot of people got infatuated with meme coins. A lot of people were very excited about NFTs and so on and so forth. So due to the fact that the MONAD EVM works perfectly fine with an already existing and established infrastructure, which is the Ethereum, so obviously everything that can be done on Ethereum can be migrated to MONAD, and it can be executed at a very much affordable rate, faster rate, and everything works perfectly fine. So what does it take for developers to migrate? Because we obviously saw people start using Solana. There's already an existing good pool of devs that are already familiar and conversant with the Ethereum ecosystem. So when it comes to adoption, it doesn't really take much for MONAD to just sort of overtake and just do better, because this infrastructure is already well established. Remember, Ethereum has been around since 2014. It has got a very good community of devs. There's a lot of good stuff going on. So when it comes to adoption and migration and just basically the overall infrastructure, MONAD would perform better than Solana. However, maybe the markets are not ready to have another ecosystem, because sometimes crypto people just trade where they trade. They are just used to certain ecosystems. Like, for example, if you want to trade memes, each blockchain, Binance, Ethereum, Anything that you think about AVAX, they all have meme coins, but for some reason, meme coins really go crazy on Solana because there is an existing mentality and culture and expectation for certain brands, aka blockchains. So now the question is, how will Monad be able to differentiate itself from the current ecosystem of existing and thriving blockchains? If this particular question is addressed, I'm sure we're going to have very good trajectory. So what I would expect and request you to do is in the next coming months, let's try and see how Monad is shaping its own destiny by sort of being different and being known for a particular service or culture, if I can put it this way. If anybody talks about Solana, it's very instant. Meme coins. Solana is equal to meme coins. You understand? So Monad has got a long way to go in terms of cultivating this culture, this occult like type of following. And this is one of the reasons why it's not just about tech, it's not just about the initial airdrop buzz and the euphoria, the excitement, because that eventually dies down. The solution and the start of real growth starts with the devs, the products that are going to be built on Monad, and also that strong community that just sort of promotes a certain niche, if I can put it this way. And this is one of the reasons why it is important for you and I to play an active role. Anyway, that's just theory. That is just another aspect of this particular conversation that I wanted to have with you so that you understand what it takes and how long it builds, or rather how long it takes for an ecosystem to thrive, to grow, and just basically stamp its own foot, especially when it comes to owning and controlling a specific niche. For example, this was 2020, right? November 6th, 2020. The price of Solana was $1.86, and it sort of took close to half a decade. So if you and I had to project when will the price of Monad go to about $5 to $10, probably going to take half a decade. It's going to take about 3 to 5 years if the team does a very good job in terms of the token release dates and just basically keeping the community well updated, incentivizing the community to build, because at the end of it all, the community has to step in, build, and create a thriving culture. And this is one of the reasons why we are supposed to be excited with what is going to happen if you and I participate. Anyhow, enough about all that junk. Now let's talk about the numbers, the stats. So recently we had a very good bounce, and by the way, I gave you guys a heads up. So 4 days ago I told you, look, there's gonna be a massive move in the next 24 hours. I was expecting the price to drop. So this time the price was slightly under 3 cents, and we ended up dumping and going to have a retest. So we almost dropped like crazy. So let me just see how much money I helped you guys save. So when I was talking to you guys, the price was roughly trading around here. So we dropped about 15%, which was very significant. And recently we had sort of a triple bottom. And this is one of the reasons why, before we can go further, I really expect the price of Monad and other altcoins to do very well, especially in the next coming week. The next coming week is going to be ultra bullish. So basically from the 15th of December 2025 all the way up to the 31st of January, I generally believe we're going to see some bullish momentum, because if you look at the higher time frames, for example, the daily is having an exhaustion as far as selling pressure is concerned. So we recently received a doji candle right over here that signifies indecision. So what this simply means is the bears are no longer in control, and we're beginning to see the markets flip, where we're seeing a little bit of buying pressure come through. And what's going to happen is, if the cost is clear, we're obviously going to be able to see a lot of buying volume come through. So now where we end up pushing is roughly going to be close to about 5 cents. So obviously between now and January 31st, January 2026, I really expect the price of MONAD to almost double. We're obviously going to experience roughly, close to 60 to about 100%. So if everything goes well, we might see the price of MONAD end up, going to this previous high, and we can also see the price eventually end up going roughly above 5 cents. So what I'm expecting the price to do is, the next coming 3 weeks, 3 to about 5 weeks, we're going to see very good bullish momentum. I'm definitely all in. By the way, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Whatever you do, please do your due diligence. But I can tell you for a fact that we're going to see a very good increase in buying pressure, due to the fact that we've met sell pressure exhaustion. Okay, and if you also take a look at the BTC dominance, I expect the Bitcoin dominance to go down. If this happens, then we're going to see stability in a lot of these altcoins. So if you guys have been around for a long time like I have, by the way, I've been trading cryptocurrencies for like more than a decade, so I've seen these cycles happen over and over and over again. So as the Bitcoin dominance drops down, we're going to see stability in altcoins, and there's going to be a lot of money gravitating towards altcoins. And moreover, we already technically had a mini altcoin season. If you guys were paying attention, the top altcoins already made a move. Binance Coin already moved. We already saw Ethereum have like a huge move. We already saw Zcash do very well. So some of the top altcoins have moved. This particular session that we're going to have between today and probably the 31st of January is going to be about the mid caps and the small caps, because the large altcoins already moved. Okay, so I've got insider information. I know how whales think. I know what they do. I'm in a lot of whale groups, and I know what the agenda is. So if you guys want to have exclusive access to such type of information, where you are always on top of the game, because ever since I've been talking to you guys about MONAD, I've been absolutely 100% right. So just check out my previous videos and my predictions. They were spot on. So if you guys want to have access to specific dedicated world groups, these are like really serious people with heavy money when it comes to cryptocurrencies. They've got like millions and billions of dollars invested. They have market making companies, etc. If you guys want to be part of that community, you can always send me an email. I can help you reshuffle your portfolio and just basically help you become a much more profitable trader. That's all I had for you. And finally, I've got a few questions for you. Number one, what do you think it requires or takes for MONAD to sort of be a top chain cryptocurrency blockchain project? And what specific niche, based on MONAD's technical abilities, should the community focus on? Like I told you, Solana is equal to meme coins. So what's MONAD going to be known for based on its capabilities? Number two, or rather number three, how long do you think it's going to take for the price of MONAD to reach $5, which is basically close to a 200x? And do you think it's absolutely feasible, due to the fact that MONAD has got certain attributes when it comes to the circulating supply, the total supply. So obviously, certain market cap valuations are nearly impossible, and how much do you think the overall crypto ecosystem needs to grow in order for this to happen? So please let me know in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed this breakdown, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel.